Genes and DNA. Let us explain very simply what your genes are all about. Your genes are contained in the chromosomes of the body's cells. Genetic material is part of your DNA structure. Genetic changes are transmitted using the RNA as the messenger. We have talked about genetic patterning and that your body genetics go all the way back to where your body's first ancestor originated upon this planet. The genes go all the way back through however many cycles of civilizations that have been on this planet. This experiential patterning began at zero. Your body's DNA and RNA that are contained within the cells are composed of all the genes that have been since bodies first came upon the planet. That's a lot. It's a lot more than you ever had any idea. Those that have expanded their awareness enough, when they wish to experience the life zone again, pick out the genes that are going to help them to express that which they wish to express on the planet and that physicality that they want to experience. When you decide to go back into the life zone, you look for familiar family patternings. You find a prospective parent and adopt that parent's gene pool as your own. Most are not even aware they can make changes. You want to go into that gene pool that you have experienced previously because it is comfortable. But this time, you want to express yourself through music. In all of that gene pool that has existed since the first stick figures, there has got to be a musician someplace. You will find that and pull it up to the top to be experienced. What is happening now? You are beginning to go backwards into that which you call your gene pool. In other words, how much is there back there? There has got to be something there that I want to experience, that I wasn't aware that I could experience. All you have to do is be bold enough to try it. It has only been in the last very short period of your recorded time that you have gotten down into the teeniest little bit of anything. You're getting into nanoseconds in recording time. You're getting down into the DNA and the RNA of the bodily systems. You're delving into the teeniest of things. And this is fine, because it is the evolution of the species. In a newspaper, John found an article about cells and new images. He read it and we put the information here in the book. We've inserted it just before it was to go to the publisher. Chemists use an advanced laser strobe light that slices time into the shortest bits yet discovered. These are called attoseconds, that is a billionth of a second. According to the article, they can now track the motions of electrons, protons, and neutrons. They can count electrons one by one. Biologists can look into the nucleus of a living cell and watch the interactions of protons, the basic building blocks of every organism. One biologist has made movies of protons carrying stuff in and out of the nucleus of a cell through miniature, donut-shaped pores or openings. They hope this will help in the earliest stages and development of a disease. They hope to track a drug in a body. Up to now, they gave everyone the same chemical poisons and hoped the patient responded to the treatment. Biologists used to think that the nucleus of a cell was relatively static. Now they can see its components constantly moving and shifting in response to signals from its environment. We have tried to explain to you how truly grand you are. We went into explanations at the beginning of this book to show you, in a very simplistic way, some things about your bodies and how they function. Let them figure out the so-called physical actions of the body. I leave it to you to figure out why you do what you do, who you are, and where you are going. With all the options that you've got, why did you choose to physically limit your bodily experiences? What did you want to do with that limitation? What did you want to learn from it? There are peoples that are beautiful artists that cannot use their legs and arms, so they put a brush between their teeth and paint beautiful pictures. Why did they limit themselves like that? Maybe all they wanted to do is paint. They had this longing to paint. An inward feeling that, all I want to do is paint, and if I had any other obligations, I wouldn't be able to paint like I want to. Stop and look at that one from that side of the coin. You have often heard it said that a person is a genius in a certain area, like a musician that is playing a piano or a little violin or something at the age of 5. That is what the individual chooses in that particular gene patterning of mother or father. That could go back many hundreds of years. They'll say, well, there's nobody in our family, nobody in our grandparents, nobody knows anybody that had any musical inclination at all. How far does your memory go back into the family tree? Not very far. People have asked, is it true that our DNA has been manipulated so that we lost a lot of our capacity to recognize the spiritual things and had to work with fear and survival? There has been no manipulation. If anybody manipulated the DNA, you did it yourself. This is not an unusual question. It comes up time and time again. These people are so afraid of being a victim. No one manipulates your body. Energies are coming on the planet. It is how you use the energies. We have said many times, water is a very unique substance. Water can be drunk. Water can be washed in. Water can be cooked with. You can sit by a stream and watch it. You can get into it and bathe in it. You can do all these different things with water. On the ocean, you can put boats on it. In the hydroelectric plants, you make electricity with water. You do a lot of things with water. Water does not change. Water is water. Energy is energy. It's how you use it that makes the difference. The same thing with your hologram. Your hologram is your hologram. What you do with your hologram is entirely up to you. There is nobody manipulating it. The only time the hologram can have any work done on it at all is when you and the body are working with it. There are many changes taking place and you're the one that's making the changes. You can't say, well, it's somebody else. You are the one that comes into the body to change the body to make it the way you want it. The body doesn't do it arbitrarily. Your bodily genes do certain things, and your DNA and all of this other stuff that you've got in your body work to perform in a certain way. You're the one that changes the way it works to your specifications. Your body's DNA is not manipulated by anyone. The energies used by you in connection with your physical body can change the body's DNA and RNA, whatever. It has been often changed since you came on the planet. It's in constant change. Nobody does it except the indwelling entity, which is you. Who is going to manipulate that bunch of junk but you? You're going to figure out what you want dominant and what you want recessive and what you want to experience. It's all you. How in the world is somebody else, from another universe, from another planet, even this planet, going to do anything to you? I mean, you have to stop and think these things through. If you are so convinced, believe so thoroughly that somebody is going to victimize you and change your DNA, you're going to sit in fear until the day you die, of somebody going to do something to you and become a consummate victim of everything and everybody. You're going to end up where you don't want to be. These kinds of beliefs can drive you insane. It happens. You think this only happens to other people. You have no idea how many more times this happens to those that are trying to figure out a lot of what you call spirituality. They drive themselves insane because they begin to have a strong belief in victimhood. They're so concerned that they're going to do something wrong or that somebody is going to do something to them that they become paranoid. Why does everything seem to be the same all the time? There are children that come in that can just barely talk and walk, who can explain physics theories. Children are naturally open. The thing is, you keep closing yourselves down from the day you are born. The object now is to open yourselves up because that's the only way growth can occur. Every day, you can't do this, you must do that, and data. You go to school, what do? They stuff you with all kinds of, you've got to know this, and you've got to know that, and you've got to know something else, but where is the creativity? You are not changing anything. It is up to you. You've got to begin to be creative, however it is, it does not matter. Just do something. Do something that gives you a feeling of accomplishment. That is something that you've never done before, never thought about. Do something. Everyone comes in differently. It's only natural that they would, because you pick the genes that you want. You look at your parents and you say, they're both short. I want to be tall. Go back into the body's genes and pick out some tall genes and put them in the body. That's one way to change your perspective. When you decide to come back into the life zone, there are many of you that come back with the same type of genetic packaging. Because of this, you continue to layer and then become upset because nothing changes. Your search begins and you start looking for a body for you to get into. Where's my family? Are there any siblings or anybody down there that is going to produce children so that I can get a chance to get back in again? The poor dirt farmer remains the poor dirt farmer. So here they are, back in the same family patterning and dragging along the same belief system. So once again, here they are following the herd. All this time, the dreamer you is trying to get your attention by putting all manner of clues and cues in front of you with the idea that maybe one of them might get your attention and start you moving in a new direction. The dreamer you is never satisfied with stagnation and finds it difficult to find new and different plays that will take you just a little bit beyond your limited expression in physicality. I've been told at one time I was famous. Is that true? By choosing the genes for your physical expression, your body gathers a history for itself. Remember, you have no genealogy, no heritage, no history. You have never been famous or infamous, nor good nor evil. These are all body activities. You are only that which experiences through these body plays. You don't have a history, you only have an evolution. What is happening now is that much of the genes are being uncovered. In other words, you're going down through layering and uncovering many things. Many of you are adopting these old ideas as your present-day belief system. There again, you are picking up the past and making it your present. How are you going to go forward with yesterday? You try very hard to find the beginning of your species. It would be much better if you would be trying to figure out instead of where you've been, where you're going. The big number now is not looking over your shoulder and trying to figure out from the backside, but figuring out where you are right this moment. What about past life regressions? They are bodily experiences. What did you learn from that experience? Take a look at them with your understanding of that play from today's vantage point. This is where you're at. From this moment on is what is going to be important. Not your ancestors, that is not of importance. Your body's past genealogy, that is not important. The importance now is forward. You are going to be changing the genes that are within your physical construct at the present time. The energies are changing and you're going to be changing your physical constructs. You see, the body has its own viability. It is living in its own way. Every cell in your body, every organ in your body is working, is living. It even has a memory pattern. It has a gene memory pattern, otherwise you couldn't grow. Your body would stay the same all the time. Every individual should live as the animals do, as if they were living their lives from the very center of their existence. You come into physicality scattered all over the place, picking up the past, fearing the future. How can I evolve? Now, you want to evolve, oh fine, but don't touch my body. That's what's going to be touched. You are just on the threshold of really being touched in many ways. Now take the word hormone. Do you know what that means? John looked this up for me, and it comes from the Greek word hormone, which means setting in motion. That is exactly what these new energies are going to be doing. The energies will change the activity within your hormonal structure. The energies coming onto the planet are changing not only your outsides, but it's going to be changing your insides. And we have told you that before. You're going to have headaches like you have never experienced before. They're not going to react like a normal headache that you can remember. The intensity of it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. The stomach aches that you're having. You're going to be having a lot of stomach aches. Why are they selling so many of those pills for indigestion? You're going to have a lot of indigestion. That is one of the areas that is being changed. All of the hormones within the physical body, that is what runs your system, the hormones are being changed. The hormones that go into your pituitary, your pineal, your thyroid glands are secreting differently than they had been previously. Your sexual organs, males are having troubles in those areas, females are having troubles in those areas. That is because your hormones are changing. Why does the body have to change? The DNA changes are going in many directions. You see, your body has DNA that it has had since you first came onto the planet for physical expression. That goes way, way back. All of that is constantly built upon, each time you decide upon an expression in physicality, unless you change it. When stagnation occurs, you become bored, and yet you do nothing to change the circumstances. When you come into physicality, you pick up the DNA strains that you want to put into your physical expression from the DNA that you obtained from your parents. You see, you pick from that, those things that you want to be, shall we say, expressed. The others are in regression, or you don't use them, or whatever. But it is still passed on. You have dominant genes and recessive genes in your bodies. This is called genetic patterning. All right. How many layers down do you have to go to find that? It depends. It depends on what your body's gene patterning has been. You have no idea what was happening to the genes in the genetic patterning 1,000 years ago. What was your body's genetic patterning, observing, working with 1,000 years ago? You do not know. That's why you can take 25 people, and I use the number and I don't know numbers, take 25 people and put them in the middle of a field and someone will say, "Look at the UFO up there in the sky." How many people see it? If it is within their body's gene patterning to recognize that vibratory wave that is in your sky, as you call it, those will see it. The others will see your sky. Same thing. The aliens will come walking through here at a certain time of night. We'll all go and stand in the field. Look, here they come now, and they'll walk right across there. How many recognize the pattern, the vibratory pattern, and how many don't recognize the vibratory pattern? Because someone has said they will walk across there. If your vibratory patterning in your genes matches that vibratory patterning, you will see them walk across. You can't convince the other people that didn't see it that they were there. As an example, one of your holy books refers to the wheels within your skies. You see, you have a body gene patterning you relate to. A vibratory patterning that you make an object out of. You see, when you come into your bodies, if you are paying attention to what you are doing, you will pick certain elements that you want to express in physicality. If you're not interested in going in a line of painting or music, you will put them into your body genes as recessive. In other words, you have it all, but you're not interested in that part of your development. You're more interested in being a scientist or archaeologist. So you will hunt around and see if any of that is available for you to draw from and put those in not as recessive, but as the active ones that you can use that are at the forefront. You take your energy, you make your body, you work with your body. Your body is a psychological construct of energy that you work with. You put it together. Then you want to die, so you separate yourself from the body and leave the particles behind, because you don't need them anymore. You die and then you can't find anything and you don't know where you are, so the first thing you do is build a pseudo-body so you're comfortable. It's all a psychological construct, and that's very difficult, from a physical standpoint, to understand. The more you begin to explore your belief systems, observe what you're doing, learn from what you're doing, find out who you really are, that's when changes are made. Nobody can change it for you. You have within that gene structure all of the body's genetic patterning. Depending on the individuals, it depends on how much of these new energy waves your physical construct is able to handle. In other words, every energy wave that enters your planet has a different type of, shall we say, electrical charge. Now, that's wild terminology, but it's the only thing I can think of so that you can understand what we are talking about. The body is making changes under your direction. Why not enjoy making other changes in your body by giving it some enjoyment? If you can smell the chocolate and you walk down the street and there is a chocolate shop, buy yourself a piece and enjoy it. Begin your explorations. Touch things and feel them, feel the texture, the smell. When you sit down to eat, don't gobble. Taste what you're eating and enjoy it. Don't look, see, and observe. Be aware. Begin with the baby steps. Then as you become more attuned to many different things in your physical experience, the body will recognize and the brain will recognize that this is beginning to be fun. The body is the body, and you are you. And you are you from the first time thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago that you first stepped into physicality. That is all contained within your body's genes. Your body genes are collectors of data. Remember, this whole planetary reality is just a psychological construct that can be changed by you.